This episode is brought to you by Anchor.fm. If you haven't heard of Anchor, you should definitely check them out. It's a super easy tool that anyone can use to create and distribute their podcast. It has everything you need, and you can do it all from your computer or even your phone. Need your podcast cover art? There's a tool. Music and sound effects? They have you covered. Want to record on the fly? It's easy with the app. Now you may be saying to yourself, I already have a podcast. No worries, just create your account, upload, and publish to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Looking for some walking around money? Anchor connects you with advertisers who match your brand. It's a one-stop shop for all of your podcasting needs. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started.
Hello and welcome to BizQuik. I'm Corey.
And I'm Julie.
And on the pod today, we have Irvin Retiz. He is the owner and operator of Retiz Electric out of Houston, Texas. Welcome, Irvin.
That's right. You're listening to BizQuik. This is where Julie and Corey provide quick and useful information to small business owners. BizQuik is the podcast where small business owners get to showcase their businesses and receive expert advice and guidance in areas many entrepreneurs struggle with. And you, the listener, get solutions, tips, and tricks on real-world topics that many small business owners face. Julie and Corey are the experts small businesses hire when they need solutions. And the BizQuik podcast is just one way they deliver those solutions. Let's start the show.
Hey, how's it going? I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for dropping in.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Oh, great. I feel like you're going to be able to give our listeners a lot of helpful tips on what it's like to start a new business because, well, yours is about 2.5 years old, but you did it fairly young. So this will be very interesting. Can you start out by telling our listeners about your business and what prompted you to come on our podcast today?
Sure. Well, my name is Irvin. Like you said, I'm based out of Houston. I've started working in the electrical business at a very young age. My dad owns his own company in the deep south part of Texas. So, like at the age of 10, he started taking me out to the job sites, just picking up trash, getting materials from the vehicles, to take to his employees and whatnot, just to save some time. Since then, I've been in the industry. Really, I'm 25 now. I started working and studying to getting my licenses at the age of 18. So, and you don't see that often in the industry.
No, you do not.
And why is that?
Because everybody, like after high school, they usually go into the either trade school or just regular college, and then they spend years studying to get their licenses. And it's usually not once they finish the school to take their state exams, it's pretty much like the first license that they take. It's called the journeyman license. So that's the first exam. And then after that, you have to wait 2 years and then get a couple more hours, more experience in order to apply for the final license, which is the master's. So even the first one, the journeyman one, I finished that at age 19.
Okay, and that's because you don't need to have a traditional education to take the test. You just need to know the knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. I didn't go to school for it. I studied on my own outside of school.
Well, yeah, that's working with your dad and all that, obviously.
Do you have to have a certain number of hours in to be able to take the journeyman test, or is it that one you can take and then you need hours to take the next one?
For the journeyman, I think it's still 8,000.
Okay.
8,000 hours that you need of experience in order to apply. So you have to have a licensed master electrician sign it off, the application, and then you send it out to the state, and then they approve the application, and then you have to schedule to take the exam. And then that's when you go to the testing sites and you take the exam there. And then after you get that one, I believe the next one is 12,000, if it's still 12,000 since I took it. 12,000 hours, and then you need to wait a minimum of 2 years in order to apply for it.
Wow. So you're definitely an expert.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of hours. I'm curious if your father is also an electrician, and does he own his own company?
Yes, he does.
So why did you venture out on your own instead of working with him?
Well, he works back home, which is deep south part of Texas. It's a way lower pay rate than here in Houston. And also, like, the reason that I moved to Houston 2.5 years ago is not really for like work. I really moved here to start playing soccer for this semi pro team. So that's really the main reason why I came. But like most of the day, I would get out early from practice. So by like 10, 11 a.m., I was already out. So I had the whole day like not doing anything else. So I was bored. So then I was like, well, let me just start looking for work, that way I can keep myself busy. And I mean, here I am now.
I'm glad you didn't say you moved to Houston for a girl.
I swear that's what I thought he was going to say. I was like, he's going to say it was a girl.
Because that rarely works out well.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
You still playing soccer?
I am, yeah. Not for the same team, but it's still, yeah, like semi-pro team. A different one.
So when you started your business, did you do the traditional, let me do a business plan and do all of those things, or did you take a different route?
Yeah, it was just a different route. Like I really just hopped in. Like I didn't really have a plan to start it or anything. I already had all my licenses and everything that I needed. Like I was already registered with the state to be able to work on my own. I really just started getting into this. I joined this like referral company called Home Advisor. So you pay them a yearly fee, and then you pay them like percentage for every referral that they give you. So you compete with other electricians in the city, like for the customers pretty much. So you have to just win by price or by reviews that you have from past customers. So that's really how I started, like with that company, and then a few other companies that I joined, and then after that, now it's just like either word of mouth or social media.
When you joined the home advisor, when you went off on your own, I'm assuming it was just you working for yourself, and you've grown since then, right?
Yeah, it was just me for about a year, maybe more.
And so, what does your company look like now?
Now, we have, including myself, is 5. So I have 4 employees and then myself. So usually we're all in one job site, or I split the guys up in teams. So I have 2 guys in one job and then 2 guys in another job. And I'm with either team or I probably go out and meet other customers and just try to get more business like that.
Do you still use Home Advisors?
I don't. I still get the leads. I just don't I don't call. I don't use them anymore because it's a little bit more like it's competitive more than the social media part. So social media, like I'm just posting or like the customers, my followers, like they see my stories and then they just reply to them. Like they message me, they pretty much come to me, like they see the work that we do with all the pictures, the photos, the videos.
Who's your target customer then? Because I'm thinking, like, I've got a little bit of knowledge in construction, and it seems like five guys would be way too many for like a house. So are you working commercial? Or are you working are you building larger buildings, apartment buildings? Like, what are you working on?
We do residential and commercial, but like 90% of our work is residential right now. But usually like our work is lighting installations. So they typically takes like from 9 a.m. to maybe 5, 6 p.m. So, I mean, it does take a while to get the jobs done.
I'm going to go back to something that you said a couple of minutes ago when you were talking about social media.
Okay.
As an electrician, you use social media for your marketing tool?
I do.
And you were able to get clients?
Yes.
Can you just, what are some of the approaches? I know you said you use video and whatnot, but what are some of the approaches that you take? That I'm just fascinated by that.
So a lot of our jobs that we get are the type of lighting that's called recessed lighting. It's exterior downlighting on the houses. So it has a real nice look to it. And then you could get lights that are a little like softer color, so it makes your house look more relaxing. So that really attracts the customers. Like they like how it looks. It's not lights that like during the day you can't see the lights because they're hidden under the eaves. So like at night you just see the light shine down. So it's a real nice look to it. So whenever I post the nighttime photos of the houses, then that really attracts a lot of the customers, and especially when I run ads against them on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, that's what really brings them like following my page, and then they just see like other work that we post there.
Huh. I was thinking, I think electrician, and I'm thinking wires running through walls, and not even thinking about that finished product. So that's impressive that you're able to leverage that.
Well, and like, I guess my thoughts there, like, I mean, the first thing I thought of was a lot of times, I mean, they want it to look nice, but the price is always an issue with customers. And, I'm sure they're shopping around and they're comparing you against other electricians. How often do you have to talk somebody out of making a bad decision with, whatever their installation is, to say, oh, that's going to look terrible, like talking them out of like the cheap, pushing them towards the more expensive stuff?
Yeah. Not very often, actually, because like they already see our work on like the posts that I make, so they already know like the type of work that we do. So like whenever they see the price, and then if they think it's too expensive, then like they know why it's expensive. If they like, a lot of them that say that it's expensive, like I really don't try to convince them like, hey, come with us kind of thing, because I have like other customers that if I tell them the price, like they think it's a very good price. So I had one last week that, I just gave him the price, and right away he was like, hey, that's a very good price. When can you come out? And he likes, and we were out there yesterday. We completed his house yesterday, and his house is very nice. He's one of the ones that likes, like that high quality installations, no, nothing cheap. So, he's willing to pay the price for a good installation. So that's really like most of our customers are like that. Like they already come with that mentality that, it's not cheap work. It's good work, because we show everything, even the wires that we run through the attic, that we just like, don't throw them there, going across. So we try to like line them up, staple them across the wooden studs. And even like if nobody goes up to the attic to see the wires, we still do it nicely.
And as a person who, like I said, I've done a lot of housework myself, and I had an electrician friend come in and tell me that he would have gotten fired when he saw the work that I did. So I can appreciate that.
That's funny. So you've got these high-end customers essentially, right? They're going for the more expensive, or they're not afraid to pay, I will say it like that, for the quality of your work. Where do reviews come into play with your business?
The reviews, I've actually haven't gotten much reviews. Like, whenever I started using the Home Advisor and all these other referral companies, then that's when I would ask the customers like for reviews, like to leave reviews, because you can leave the reviews, and then that's how other potential customers, like they go and they check like your past clients, what they say about you. But now like with all this social media, like I haven't really asked for anything. Like any reviews, pretty much is just word of mouth. Like one guy tells his neighbor, and that's really how we get it. Or he tells a friend, a family, and that's really how we, like, a lot of the customers come like that, or they just like see the work that we do, and they know it's good work.
Okay.
This pandemic has affected pretty much every business, every small business, across the country, across the world, obviously. Has it affected yours, and how have you responded to it?
Yeah, well, since March, it actually started picking up whenever like the lockdown and all that started. So we actually got way more business than we were doing like the first 3 months of the year.
What do you attribute that to?
Just people staying home, and then now they have time to get their projects done.
That makes sense.
That does make sense. I would have not guessed that, but
Yeah.
that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like whenever they started like locking all these businesses down, all the those workers, they would stay home, so they would call me. They would tell me that now they have so much time from home, like working from home, so they want to get their projects done. When can you come over and this and that. So like that's how it started, and then like from there, like I just gained momentum, and I just kept on going on social media, and like since then we've been pretty booked up, like every week.
That's fantastic.
We wanted to take a quick break to tell you more about SB Pace, the small business consulting company that makes this podcast possible. SB Pace, which stands for Small Business Planning, Advising, Coaching, Expertise, focuses solely on helping small businesses and entrepreneurs. Are you looking to start a small business of your own? SB Pace can get you up and running with a solid foundation that's built to last. Are you an existing small business in a slump or just looking for ways to improve what you do? We can help with that. Are you ready to take your business to the next level? SB Pace is the partner you need. You can find out more about SB Pace and what we have to offer by visiting our website, sbpace.com.
I'm going to go back to like one of the first things that we talked about, which was, your age for when you started this business, and you went straight from high school to putting in the hours to get your journeyman and then moving up. What's been the hardest part of starting your own business? And you could attribute it to age. You could just attribute it to the fact that you moved really quickly into owning a business. And, I'm just curious what's been the hardest lesson that you've had to learn that maybe if someone else is following in the same path that you can help them avoid?
The fact that like starting a business, you're definitely going to be broke.
Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah. People think like if you own a business that you just automatically have money. So like, that's not really the case. So, I mean, since starting the business, there's like a lot of things that I would like to buy that, I can't buy because I'm reinvesting into the business, or, I can't pay myself too much money, or sometimes I can't even pay myself, because I have other things I have to pay for, or I have to, run ads to, get more customers, to be seen more throughout the city. So that's definitely like one of the hardest things that I've gone through. Yeah.
Well, kudos to you for reinvesting in the business, right? A lot of people drain their business dry, not realizing the importance of that. So that leads me to my next question, which is, where did you learn to be so savvy with your business?
Well, it first started with my dad, since my dad has his own business. So he always taught me, like, he always wanted me to go into the career, not specifically electrical, but he just said, like, if you're going to choose whatever career you want to choose, just make sure that it's something that, like, you can be like a leader, you can be like at the top, like not really go work for somebody, but like have people work for you pretty much, like as pretty much like an entrepreneur. So like he first instilled that mindset in me. So like whenever I started my business, but like the first year and a half, 2 years that I started my business, like I didn't really take it too, like I didn't really focus too much in it until early last year, which is when I started listening to podcasts, since I never listened to podcasts. So like the very first podcast that I listened to was Andy Frisella's, the MFCEO. Yes. So like that's really like where everything began. I just, in my free time, which is pretty much all day, because I wouldn't really go out there and look for customers, like I would just let them come to me. So like just listening to the podcast every single day when I had free time, like it really just gave me that mindset, like I'm just going all in. So that's really what like changed my mindset.
I'm going to have to let Andy know that all of our guests, their number one podcast they listen to is his podcast. I'm going to need people to start listening to ours.
Well, we'll be number 2.
He definitely is inspiring and provides a lot of really good direction for small business owners. So I'm not surprised that was your answer.
Yeah. And I actually found his podcast by accident.
Lucky accident, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I was actually looking for Ed Milet's podcast. And I came across Andy's thinking it was Ed, but I started to like it, so I just kept on listening to it. And I found out it was the wrong person. Like couple episodes in, but I was like, I like it, so and then we keep going.
Yeah, I think Andy probably curses way more than Ed does.
Yeah.
Ed certainly curses, but not like Andy does. Yeah.
Sure.
So looking back, and it hasn't been a long time, but I'm sure you've learned a lot of lessons since you started your business. What's one piece of advice that you would give to anybody out there who's thinking about starting a business, especially somebody who might be as young as you or as you were when you started your business?
Yeah. The first time you lose money, or if there's a struggle going on or something that brings you down, you just can't you can't quit. That's something I learned. A lot of jobs that even still to this day, some of the jobs that we do, I don't make money. Sometimes I lose money. Sometimes I lose when I'm not supposed to lose. A lot of times I do make money, but that's whenever I lose money, I don't take that as oh man, I lost money, whatever, and I bring myself down. I whenever I lose money, my automatic thought is, I'm learning something from this, something that, a mistake that I can't make in the future, because then I'm going to lose money again. Another thing is the struggle is if I can't find customers, or, nobody wants to buy, or stuff like that. Cause it's happened before where there's weeks, especially in the beginning of this year, before COVID, there's some weeks where we worked 1 day or 2 days. And, even if you don't make money, during the whole week to, buy food or live off for the rest of the week, you can't bring yourself down. You just got to keep going and keep finding ways of getting customers, getting business, and just keep going.
I think, sorry, I did not mean to cut you off.
No worries.
I think that people, a lot of people don't realize that when you are first starting a small business, and even for some small business owners, they could be years into it, where it can be hand to mouth, right? It is not an easy life to be an entrepreneur, and it takes a special kind of toughness to be able to do it, and know you just got to keep pushing forward, because it's better for you personally than the alternative is.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of people, they don't think it's hard. They think it's easy just to be a business owner. They think it's just freedom, from the start. And
yeah,
it's the complete opposite.
Right. Yes.
And I have friends, I know people that even if they're not business owners, whatever they're doing, they come across a little struggle, and they just quit, or they bring themselves down bad. So that's something that I learned not to do with, whatever negativity or whatever things happen in the business, that's not benefiting me.
Yeah, that's great advice. But we are starting to run out of time here, so I wanted to give you a chance to, tell us about your business. Let our listeners know where they can find you, where they can connect with you, where they can see the beautiful lighting jobs that you have.
Yeah, well, most of the platforms that I'm engaged in is Instagram and Facebook. You just search up Retiz Electric. I'll spell it out for you because a lot of people get confused. It's Retiz, and then just Electric. So we're in different social medias too, like Twitter, LinkedIn, but Instagram and Facebook are where I post most of the content.
Perfect.
Or the website too at retizelectric.com.
Well, we'll put that in the show notes for our listeners, but we do need you to settle an ongoing, we could call it disagreement, argument, debate.
It's a debate.
It's a debate. Ongoing. We're talking years now. You want to ask it?
No, you go right ahead because you're going to butcher it. It's going to be hilarious.
All right, here it goes. When I was little, my siblings dared me. We had a pasture, and the pasture was fenced off, and there was electric fence. And my siblings bet me that I couldn't grab all of the wires. And the last one that I grabbed was the hot one. And I was like 5. So I'm holding on, and I can't let go, right? Because there's a charge coming through there.
Yeah.
And I say I was electrocuted.
And I say you can only get electrocuted once because that results in death. She was shocked.
We need an electrician to tell us, was I electrocuted or was I shocked?
How long did you hang on for?
Oh, probably a solid like 3 minutes while my siblings scream, like to the point where my siblings were grabbing like almost in like a daisy chain to try and pull me off. And they were also getting shocked, electrocuted. They were getting electrocuted. And then finally my dad heard us screaming and he ran to the barn and turned the fence off. And I'll tell you this, probably like a week later, like my skin, I itched everywhere so bad. I could not stop itching. And I say I was electrocuted. And also, I'm just going to say it because I know they probably aren't listening. My siblings are jerks. But was I electrocuted or was I shocked?
I would say electrocuted. Because like the way that I see shocked is like if you touch an outlet and then like it just shocks you and like you react and you let go.
I'm gonna wait for when we get another lawyer on here. I'm gonna ask them.
Well, thank you. You've been my favorite guest ever. Now that you've confirmed, we have settled a 5-year debate.
Can you just say the word shocked for me? Because I can just add that in post. But
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I can't breathe.
Yeah. Thanks, Irvin, for being on the show. We had a great time. Hope you did as well.
Yeah, of course. Glad to have you on.
Yeah. And for our listeners, you can connect with us on social media. We're on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and the Facebook. And you can also reach out to us on our websites, either sbpace.com or bizquickpodcast.com.
And don't forget to subscribe to our pod. And if you like what you hear, give us a like and give us a review as well. Tell us what you liked about the show.
And you can tell us what you didn't like as well, and we'll see if we can fix it. You can also reach out to us if you want to hear about specific topics. We'll find an industry expert and get them on the show. We wrote a book. It's called Seriously, Now What? A Small Business Guide to Disaster Preparedness. And that book is available at Amazon, or you can connect to it through our website.
And that's it for today. I'm Corey.
And I'm Julie.
And this was BizQuik, helping small businesses across America.